Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Martin Stira Martin. I'm a Nigerian, and I'll be representing University of Abuja student Team 5 precisely. While our team defines it as the skill of working with other nations through respectful communication to avoid conflict and shared goals, diplomacy has changed over time but remains essential for handling international challenges. In pre colonial Africa, diplomacy was an important part of life, especially for kingdoms like Dahomey. Dahomey interacted with European nations using a system of formal communication, including exchanging gifts to show goodwill and respect. This diplomacy allowed Dahomey to control its resources and make agreements that respected its people and customs, even when dealing with foreign powers like Portugal and Britain.
Good afternoon. My name is Khalil Fair, and I'll be speaking on behalf of the Queens College students as part of Team 5, also known as G5. I'll be focusing on the post-colonial contemporary side of African diplomacy with a focus on intergroup conflict. The main source I'll be drawing from is the Canadian Magna Stab article called Africa's Interstate Conflicts, Relevance, and Limitations of Diplomacy. This article does an amazing job at the contextualization of post-colonial African democracy. Magna Stab wants the reader to understand that due to the nature of apartheid and colonization, various groups with varying cultural and ethnic backgrounds were forced to be in proximity to one another. Situations arose in various communities where smaller or more marginalized ethnic groups weren't having an equal or fair stake in the way the government was run. From page 28, Magna Stab states, it is not surprising that various ethnic groups and religious actors may resist incorporation into a state if they perceive that they have no assurance that the state will be an agent for their advancement and their collective interest. This quote is highlighting how groups come into conflict since there could be a majority within a country that has significantly different cultural and historical backing that could lend them to not having the entire country's best interest in mind. Especially with various ethnic groups being forcefully put together, this gives more context to intergroup conflicts due to the potential differences that may arise. In addition to this, due to the fact that these various groups had a multitude of nuanced, varied ways of diplomatic interactions and relations, democracy almost acted as a one-size-fits-all band-aid to all or majority of African communities. And this problem is further exacerbated when looking at certain communities that had such large expanses of land and people such as the Democratic Republic of the Congo. For this video, I'll be saying the DRC. With the example of the DRC, in order for decolonization to be seen as successful, the people, Patrice Lumumba and his party, had to be fully autonomous, and they had to unite the over 900,000 square mile expanse. And due to the speed of which Belgium decolonized, they essentially were forced into using the governmental model that was being instituted during colonization by Belgium, which was democracy. And it was an almost impossible solution due to the amount of people and land that they had to account for, in addition to educating and almost grooming their people to be comfortable with the acceptance of a democratic government. Further highlighting the almost self-fulfilling prophecy of many African communities, failing with the use of democracy because democracy wasn't made with the intention to work within Africa, developing this idea of democracy being used as a one-size-fits-all band-aid. And also, not to even mention, this is also without even talking about the behind-the-scenes outside governmental interference and influence by international powers. To finalize, while Africa has suffered a multitude of difficulties and setbacks within the various countries and communities, there were a plethora of developed diplomatic and governmental institutions in place before colonization. And in the modern day, African communities are regaining and developing their own governmental institutions to be nuanced and effective for supporting the various communities, cultures, and ethnic backgrounds that are held in their various borders. Thank you.